So this is Kick related news. I've told you guys time and time again my feelings about Kick, in which I don't think it's a platform that will be around for a very long time because the initial core sentiment of the platform and the values it holds is not good values. It was literally built as an FU to Twitch. And when you build a platform as an FU to another platform, it typically doesn't go well. We have this tweet from Melissa, aka it's Melissa Dude. Why I left Kick a small snippet behind the scenes. And it's a YouTube video from them, and they were ex-Kick staff.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know who I am, which is probably 99% of you, my name's Melissa and I was previously employed by Kick and Steak. There's been a couple of controversies recently that I've posted on my Twitter just in regards to how they've treated me since I left. Not only did they send me a cease and desist, which I'll go into in a second, in regards to this tweet, or here, but they've also been...
They sent a cease and desist for a tweet that says, I have decided to step down from my position at Kick/Steak. Sometimes you have to go with your gut and stand by your values. Cease and desist is a written document telling you to stop your behavior, and if you don't stop, then they will escalate to taking it to court. So it's like the step before they take you to court. I am not a lawyer. I'm not a law professional. I am not an attorney. I don't think this is something you can send a cease and desist for. Essentially, I think they're sending a cease and desist probably for slander, but this wouldn't count as slander.
Been lying about the fact that I was fired when I quit. So I posted this post with my resignation letter in it.
So they're referring to this tweet. Is there a depth that Kick streaming won't stoop to? I've been told multiple times since I quit that they're going around saying I was fired and making up ridiculous reasons as to why. I think it's a little bit odd that Kick is spending this much time arguing the nuance of whether they quit or whether they were fired. Melissa is saying they quit. They are saying they fired Melissa. I feel like this is a really small nuance. It can make a difference in public perception, I suppose, depending on things. But I feel like don't Kick have bigger fish to fry? And they drop proof being a screenshot of their resignation email.
I think a lot of people were kind of confused on why I would post a resignation letter to like 700 people that follow me on Twitter. This is because quite a few people in the esports industry do follow my account. And I thought it was a good way to showcase that if they had heard these lies, that they were absolutely unfounded. And I felt like I really had no other option. I mean, it was either let it go or try my hardest to get it out there, that was absolutely not the case. Now, when I talk about them lying about me being fired, I'm not talking about an entry-level exec or some account manager. I'm talking about the CMO of both Kick and Steak. The guy that approves all the contracts. He's the head of the affiliate team for Steak. He runs the social media team, but pretty much everything runs through him. Every event, anything at all, as far as ideas or streamers or anything runs through this guy. He's basically Ed. He's on the pretty much the exact same level as this guy.
I need to like full screen this also. I realized I had it too small. The CMO is like one of the highest level people at Kick, by the way. It's like the highest level at a company.
He directly reports to Ed. The CMO basically runs everything. I think they decided to go with this strategy because Steak and Kick are supposed to be sort of booming at the moment, and a lot of people in the industry would probably think it was crazy for someone to leave because it's such a big opportunity, and it really is, especially being in Australia where we really don't have a big entertainment industry at all. So, you know, this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for people. I think that they would have thought they would get away with saying that I was fired because there's no way someone would leave this business. Little do they know it was actually extremely easy to leave with the things that go on in that office. The ego on these people is insane to think that no one...
Out the gate, you can already smell the misogyny in Kick, so I believe everything that Melissa is saying. Do you think Kick is falling off? I think Kick has always been falling off, and Kick has never been the it platform that it likes to think it is. The thing is, the whole reason Kick was built is because they didn't like Twitch's TOS about no gambling, and they wanted a platform where they could gamble. And you know what happens when you make a platform that accepts the people that a more verified platform wouldn't accept? You end up with a cesspool of shitty people on it. Not saying all Kick streamers are shitty. Come on, but they got Aiden Ross. Nelly, Kick is the Temu of streaming. I'm dead. That's actually too funny. Yeah, Kick is where the perma-banned Twitch people go. It's their graveyard. So imagine a platform that is farming all of the non-desirable Twitch people. It's not going to be a good platform.
But they do employ people purposely that are completely okay with unethical behavior and conduct it themselves and work with zero integrity. So it's important to note that the office environment for me was extremely hostile, but because there was just a consistent disrespect to other people's opinions and beliefs. And this went as far as to just consistently hearing the F slur, and not even just in jest, like as a joke. It was specifically, you know, targeted towards people that it was supposed to discriminate against.
Who would have thought that the people at Kick would be using the F slur? I wonder what other slurs they use.
Even so much as to walk past the socials room, the guys that run the, kick streaming and kick community, and hear the N-word just dropped. Hard R.
No, what did I just say?
And I'm like, what is this office? How? And they had the executive, like the upper management was in the room. And I just sort of was like, what did I just hear? I couldn't believe it. And it's like, I came from companies that if you said anything slightly offensive, you are in trouble, if not fired. And I think, there is a balance that you have to strike. But at the end of the day, it's the company's responsibility to ensure.
Sorry, I'm not trying to flame what Melissa said, but I feel like in terms of slurs, there's no balance. It should be no slurs or slurs, as in if you say slurs, you get fired. And if you don't say slurs, you keep your job. Some people like to call me soft because they're like, oh my God, Kat, you're so lame, da da da. There are so many words in the English vocabulary. You could pick any other one besides a slur to say.
Ensure that everybody feels safe and welcome. I even remember seeing a couple of people in my team laughing because they were deliberately misgendering transgender streamers. How do you function in that environment? So in regards to my resignation letter, a lot of it was blurred. This was just due to the fact that a lot of it was personal information that wasn't really relevant, or it depicted another staff member whose story is not mine to tell. But the part that you could see that I really didn't want public, but I knew if I blurred literally the entire thing out, it would have zero impact and people would just assume that it was fake anyway. So I speak about the fact that I needed flexible working arrangements and that they were revoked. A lot of people assumed that I needed to be home all the time, or I was working from home, or I wasn't showing up from work, or I was taking a ridiculous amount of time off, which is just absolutely not the case. So my daughter started school in February, and every second week I needed to pick her up. So I would get in at around 9:30 after dropping her off. I wouldn't take any breaks or have lunch, and I would leave by about 2:30. It's important to note that a lot of staff members work from home, and we absolutely didn't have a stringent office working environment where we couldn't actually access information outside of the office. Especially my team, where we had to work 24/7 because we were the POCs for a lot of partners overseas.
I just gotta say also, this is Kik. This is like a website. Depending on what you do for work, you don't need to be in the office if you work for a software company. So it's probably just some weird power play. I'm really sad that Melissa has to talk about how people were accusing her reason of leaving as not being a good enough reason, or kind of discrediting her in any way about this. I think that's really weird and really dumb. And it's probably just a whole bunch of Kik fanboys trying to belittle a woman for talking about her experience in esports. Leaving a company for any reason, in my opinion, is valid. If you don't like your boss, valid reason to leave. You can leave whenever you want. It's like a relationship. You don't need to have a valid reason to break up with somebody. If you want to break up with your partner, that's a valid enough reason as it is. If you want to leave this company, that's a valid reason. I don't know why people would be nitpicking her reason to leave. So that's just my personal take.
And also, I was consistently working with businesses overseas. So there were times where I would be working from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. outside of work hours after doing a day's work. So it was very normal to work from home anyway. And all I needed to do was work from home for a couple of hours at the end of the day to pick up my daughter every second week. You can imagine it was a surprise to me when the manager of the partners team, yes, the same guy that has been going around spreading lies about me, sat me down and just flat out said that my flexible working arrangements would be revoked effective immediately, and I need to find alternatives. I found it absolutely disgusting that that was effective immediately, when basically giving me no time to come up with an alternative. And not to get too personal, but I don't have anybody to lean on. I don't have friends or family that can help me out here, and they were very aware of that. So for me, there was no other options. They were basically telling me to choose between my child and my work.
On a complete side note, I also hate the whole company culture of hating moms. They feel like women lose value once they have a kid. And they'll do little subtle corporate bullying things like this to try to make a weird power play. Let me reiterate, where do we come from? I came from my mom. My mom birthed me. All of us were birthed by a mother. They may not be your mother, right? Things happen, but all of us came from a mom. And I feel like there's a big, weird work culture about shitting on moms. And I think it's so gross.
Of course, I asked if this had anything to do with my performance, because to me, that was the only excusable reason that they could have to even revoke the rights, but to do it so suddenly. I was told in that meeting that it had absolutely nothing to do with my performance, which made sense to me because I wasn't underperforming at all, and I hadn't been told ever that I was underperforming. So it would have been very out of the blue for them to just say it in that meeting and not tell me anything prior, or give me any kind of notes prior to that, oh, please work on this, or you need to do better here. When I asked what the reason was for this insane backflip, they told me that my parental responsibilities were becoming a burden to the team's morale.
Burden on the team's morale? Because you're a mom. Wait, the math is not math. I am literally at a loss of words For the audacity from Kick. I love how Melissa came with the receipts too, just to shut the haters, because there are always going to be people who love to nitpick the words of women. We have given you the benefit of the doubt for the past couple of months by letting you work from home during the second half, whenever you're required to do so. However, next week onwards, i.e. starting from the 22nd of April, you would have to request leave half day if you are unable to work for all the 7.5 hours at the office. We also discuss how this might affect the team in the long run, with the team's performance and the team's morale. How would leaving for like 2 hours to pick up your kid hurt team morale? This is an online company. It's not that deep. It's not that important. I'm not saying her job is important. I'm saying being present in the office is not necessary for a company like this. You don't need to be there all the time, truly. And I guarantee you, like half these people that are there for the 7.5 hours are freaking scrolling memes like 90% of the time.
This was very hurtful. To hear that other people's morale was low, for me having to run around like a psychopath every morning and every night trying to, scurry together to get her to school, to get to work, to leave work, to go get her. It was a lot of pressure on me, and it's a lot of pressure on anybody. And to be so blatantly just disregarded, and overlooked in that moment, it really sucked. Look, I wasn't at all surprised about being treated like this because the way that company is run is unimaginable, but it did make me sad being told that basically my daughter was a burden to other people. So after being told that I couldn't have flexible working arrangements, I sought out the CMO, that great guy, and I was like, what do I do? Where do I run? Who do I speak to? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'll speak to Ed. Ed is the one that basically fires you, or he doesn't, because of these types of issues. So every single day I came in, I was like, okay, I'm expecting them to give me an answer. A week went by, 2 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by, and I'm still chasing this guy up. Like, what's going on? Can you just let me know? Like, can we talk about alternatives? I'm happy to do an extra day on the weekend if I have to. Like, I wanted to continue to try and move this platform to a good place, a safe place, a savory place for the industry.
I love your enthusiasm. There's no way Kick is going to become a safe place for people. It would take a complete company overhaul for this to happen, including firing the higher ups, which would never happen. But I love it though. I really wish Melissa finds a good company that can support her vision and missions.
And I couldn't do that if I didn't work here. And honestly, they need all the help they can get in that regard because most people that work there really don't give a shit. The stress of not knowing was definitely a part of wanting to leave, but there were 2 specific incidences in my last couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, that really solidified the fact that I was absolutely not in the right place. One of these incidences was when I was in a meeting and for those of you who don't know, there's a creator on Kick who got a contract through one of the bigger streamers. This creator has special needs, and we gave him a contract out of good faith and the fact that this bigger streamer was quite a fan of him. Quick side note, I grew up with a severely autistic cousin, and I am very in tune with the needs and well-being of anybody with a disability. So I wanted to follow up on this guy's contract renewal because the POC was the manager of the partners team. And I don't know if you guys have figured this out or not yet, but he's a massive dick. So I was really concerned that this streamer wasn't going to be treated well, and I was right. So when I asked about this streamer's contract renewal, he had a smirk on his face and goes, I decimated his rate. And this was apparently fucking hilarious because everybody else in the room laughed. I said, well, what did you put it down to? And he proceeded to then brag about the fact that he got him on a below market cent rate for an English streamer. Everybody thought this was funny, and I was shocked. And even if I think about this too much, it actually makes me cry because the thought of how bad this streamer must have felt, it's just not right. And the level of just cruelty there as well, and just absolute no compassion, but it made me hate this person.
To brag about decimating somebody's rate in general is fucked up. Like that, it shows you have no care for the streamers on your platform, but especially to somebody who is disabled. That people who are disabled, the job opportunities for them is much more limited than somebody who is able-bodied, by far. And being able to earn a living while Twitch streaming, which I'm assuming is something that that person loves. Most people don't stream if they don't like it, right? So not only are you shitting on their dreams by decimating their rate, giving them something much below market rate, but this is also kind of like their lifeline, in which they don't have that many job opportunities, and now they have a job that they can actually like survive on, that they enjoy and pay well wages. And now they're just throwing the big middle finger F you to them. This again just shows that Kick has absolutely no care for the creators on their platform. And why would you ever want to stream on a platform that doesn't care about you?
So the second incident that happened about 2 days prior to me leaving, which really solidified it. I walked out of this meeting, called my friend and was like, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. I cannot do this anymore. We were talking about the fact that they were trying to get a very beloved Twitch streamer over to Kick to stream Steak as well. And just for context, this particular streamer had been publicly battling cancer recently.
There's no way that's about Kyedae, right?
In their strategy to get this person over. The conversation very quickly became quite sinister. I'm going to say a quote, and it's something that I cannot get out of my head because it's so heinous to me. And I think it will speak volumes in, you know, the type of characters that work there, which is why I had to get out. We can get her on Kick streaming Steak for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family.
What in the motherfucking hell did I just hear? Whether this is about Kaidet or another streamer, leveraging their cancer and the fear of death that cancer instills to try to get somebody onto your platform for a cheaper rate is disgusting. I'm literally at a loss of words right now. I already had no faith in Kick from the get-go because I knew ethically they were a fucked up company. But after hearing this is disgusting. Just saying, if you were ignorant about Kick and how fucked up they were, if you didn't see it in the beginning, I can forgive you, right? But after hearing this, after hearing what they said to this creator, likely Kaidet, alleged, we don't know, right? That is gross.
I actually was surprised. I looked up in surprise. And everybody else was sort of looking at this person that was speaking and just being like, yeah, you know, that's true. Let's go with that. Like, I think we can get this person. And I remember getting really hot after that. Like, I just felt like I was in hell and I was talking to the devils and I was talking to demons, like, and these demons were plotting to, you know, take over the world and I had to stop them. Like, it felt so bad. When I walked out of that meeting, I actually ended up going home early because I needed to after having that conversation with my friend, I just needed to really, really think hard about whether I could stick this out. And obviously my decision was that I was going to walk away. I had no intention to expose the company. Letting people know about what's going on behind the scenes might help them hold them accountable. And there is nothing without accountability. And right now they are not accountable for anything. As you can see, they just let shit slide. They do anything. They don't care about pedophiles on the platform. Like this guy right here, I had to fight tooth and nail to get this guy off. And he told 2 14-year-old girls that he wanted to do something sexual to them. And he even included their age in the proposition. There were staff members who were defending it, saying that it was a joke. That was actually one of the first times I was like, I have to walk away. If this guy stays on the platform, I have to go. Child endangerment, like having children on the platform. Before I got there was no verification process for if somebody was underage. And it's so funny because by the time I left, me and compliance had put together a process. None of the staff know the terms of service. So a lot of people were just like, nah, she can stream even if she's 6 years old because, you know, she'll have her dad near her or whatever. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case. She cannot be on the platform and she cannot hold her own account. Funnily enough, when I left, I was like, okay, good. The child safety part is pretty much done. They have a process now in place, and I'm pretty sure there's no need to allow children on the platform because what market are you trying to capture?
What I think is also weird is it's a gambling platform. So why do you want like 6-year-olds on a gambling platform? This is disgusting.
I still don't know because I saw this tweet about 2 or 3 weeks ago where a prominent staff member is promoting on Twitter an 11-year-old boy who, whilst I was there, I was the reason why this kid got banned. And I'm sorry to the child that, you know, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety. And especially on Kick, I feel like sometimes Kick should be like you can't even be on it under 18. This child was banned when I was there because, you know, I did have a zero tolerance towards it because children need to be protected. He's just promoting him. He's reinstated his account. The kid gets featured all the time. And he's verified, and he's 11. And the reason I know he's 11 is because on his Facebook page, that he used to stream on, it says, I turned 11 in Dallas. They just blatantly ignore their terms of service, which are in place to protect children.
If you can watch this video and still want to be on that platform, I'm at a loss of words. This is further proof that Kik is a disgusting platform, and we already knew that, but this just further confirms it. It's so gross. It's so icky. Leveraging a large and beloved streamer's cancer against them to try to manipulate them onto the platform, and then bragging about throttling the pay of somebody who is disabled. They're like gunning for a bingo card for how can I be the worst platform out there. It has been revealed that that streamer Melissa was talking about is actually Kyedae. That was released through this Dextero post stating Kyedae confirms Kik offer and slams weird platform amidst XQC claims. On June 17th, ex-Kik member Melissa uploaded her video and she accused Kik staff of offering less money to a very beloved Twitch streamer battling cancer. This is the quote that the Kik staff said. She probably thinks she's gonna die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her fam, referring to how they're gonna try to strong arm Kyedae to join their platform. XQC defended the platform the next day and claimed that neither Kik or Stake has reached out to Kyedae, which is weird because like XQC is not Kyedae, so how would he know? So then Kyedae debunked the claims. So we have this video.
React to the X-Stack pick? No, bro, and I honestly don't care. People were asking me about it, but it's whatever. I got an offer from Kik and I declined it. I decided that morally I didn't really want to go over to Kik. And even if they did try to exploit me for my cancer,
so bad, bro.
it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna take it. I thought it was weird as fuck. I think it's weird to say, like we can offer for cheaper rates. How do they try to exploit her? I don't know. One of the Kik people said that I would go over to Kik for cheaper than normal because I have cancer and I think that I'm gonna die and I want to give my money to my family before I die. So they thought that they could get me for cheaper. That's apparently what was said. I don't know. I don't think there was anyone else publicly battling C, I think. I'm not too bothered by it. It doesn't really matter, but...
So yeah, Kyedae basically confirmed that she did get an offer from Kik that she did decline. So this just further goes to prove just how shitty a platform Kik is, and Kik sucks, and if you still defend Kik, I'll take, you're weird.